Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel, and it's a girl Faith, Brandy, and
Steven.
right guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you've already subscribed, like if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I know that we love you so much, guys. And if you are tuning in for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we got more gist for you guys. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for everything, guys. I really appreciate. Sorry we've not been posting about our life so much because I haven't been feeling so well. But then I thank God I'm doing great. As you guys can see, I'm doing good. So welcome. And today we are going to talk about
How we met.
how we met. A lot of you guys have been asking, and then I requested you guys to tell us what you really want us to post on, and then you said you want us to post on how we met. So the video today, it's all about how Faith and Steven met. Kenya versus USA. USA.
Yeah.
How we met. So welcome, guys. Enjoy. Remember to comment. Baby, how did you meet?
Okay. At the time, I was in university. I was going to the University of Washington. And it was a big time for me because my older brother graduated, and my father was mentioning at the dinner table that he wanted another son to graduate. And I went to university, ended up getting a lot of grants, and ended up doing pretty well. Went to one of the best universities in the United States, University of Washington, and got my bachelor's in law and policy. While I was doing all that, I was lonely, and I ended up going online, and I was talking to a few people, and then I ended up meeting Faith, and I ended up talking to her, but she wasn't talking to me. She seemed so busy, so I finally said to her, "Hey, why aren't you talking to me?" And she's like, "What? You want me to talk to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So right after that moment, we started talking more regularly, and we talked for, a year? Was it a year?
Yes.
Or was it like 1.5 years?
1.5 years.
And then we talked every day. And I'm telling you, if you go down this journey, you have to talk every day. And you talk about so many things. If you're not so involved, then there's nothing for you to talk about, and then the relationship dissipates. Well, we were talking for some time, and I got to know her, and I showed her the way I was living and what I was doing, and she seemed to be a really, really good person, and how much she loved God. She showed me that. And the more and more I got to know her, the more and more I just was like, wow, this is a real special woman. This is a real special woman. And, growing up, I was always around older people. I always had older friends. So if I didn't take their advice, then I would be basically feeling like I wasted my time. So when you find somebody worth it don't matter if they're in China. It don't matter if they're in Africa. It don't matter if they're right down the road. I just knew that I had to meet her. And do you want to talk?
Okay, I have to cut you a bit. Yeah, guys, the reason why I wasn't really communicating, maybe you haven't mentioned we met online, but you've not mentioned where we met exactly. Guys, I had a friend of mine, sort of a distant cousin. She was really used to this thing of being online, and I was still in campus. I was pursuing media. I'm a journalist by profession. So by then, she was like, "You know what? You can get a good man. Why are you being disturbed with other men's it is not good in this platform. You'll find someone so good, someone so caring." I was like, "You know what? I'm not interested. Me into men now. I'm done." I was in a very bad relationship, so I was like, "I'm done. I'm totally done." And the app that we met it was Afro Introductions. So this friend of mine opened up an Afro app for me, and then I I was like, this thing, me, I'm not used to, you know. Like, you know, in Afro, you have to get in there all the time. You have, like, it's like you have to be busy there all the time. And then I was this kind of a person. I started another YouTube channel called Mvumo Extra. You can go on and check it out. That is where I was working with a friend of mine.
It's actually gone now.
Yeah, it's actually gone now.
Yeah,
I was working with that
now
guy.
Captain Nyota, but
Yeah.
he started over.
Yeah, so I was working with him just as campus, you know, trying to do what you love. And I was so busy with campus, and then just dealing with some bullshit with some ex, just trying to put just trying to put more pressure on me. But then I was like, no, you know what, I'm done. And then all of a sudden, Mary, a friend of mine, got me into it. Then I was like, okay, fine. So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be chatting? I'm not a chatting person. So there were a lot of guys who were really DMing me through Afro. And then I was like, I wasn't a talking person. So he actually asked for my number. And then, no, I wasn't talking. Then he was like, you're not talking? You mean, why are you not talking so much? I'm like, that's not just my thing. I'm like, okay, go straight to the point. What do you want? Then he was like, oh, I want us to be friends. I'm like, okay, fine. At least you're one of the guys that has not asked me for my nude, you know. Mostly in Afro, a lot of men ask for nude. And if you know your worth, go for what you want. And if you don't go for what you want, you'll get what you deserve. That means you have to choose wisely. So I wasn't really into Afro because I want to get a man. I was just into Afro because a friend of mine introduced me to. And that was after 6 months after that is when I met Steven, because it was just there and I wasn't so much into
Involved,
it. Yeah. So he was like, can I get your number? I'm like, oh. Why? He's like, I want us to be friends. I'm like, okay, fine. You really want us to be friends? It's okay. I gave him my WhatsApp number because I was not so busy on Afro. I used to get in there like once a week, you know. And then we used to call each other Boo Boo. Boo Boo, B-O-O. I really loved that name because there was the neighbor whose child was called Boo Boo, and then I just loved that name. I used to call him. We used to call each other, hi Boo Boo, hi friend, how are you? How was your day? How are you doing? Everything like that. So it went on until the day that I think I was having some issues. I was having some issues. I started living alone. Things were not doing well, and then I was like, okay, fine. In my contact list.
Whoa, wait a minute. You were living with your uncle.
Yes.
And then you ended up moving.
Yes.
And I helped you move, remember?
Yes.
So I was...
No, that was before.
I was taking care of you for a year before I even came.
Yes,
yeah.
But I'm saying, no.
No, I think we spoke for 2 years, and then I took care of you for the second year.
Yes.
And then the third year I came.
Mm-hmm. And before that, when I moved out, I was telling, okay, fine, I'm moving out, and I'm now staying alone. I'm like this. Then he was like, okay, fine, no problem. But then it reached a time I was working, and you just know our Kenyan jobs. If you work, sometimes someone can just wake up and fire you.
Yeah, you were fired, and then you were having problems with your family, your uncle.
So I started living alone, and then things were not going so well. And then I was like, above all my contacts, man, you're the only man that I talk to. So what's not happening? Tell me. Who are we? You're my boyfriend. And if you're my boyfriend, then meaning I can't have any other relationship, meaning you're the only one that I'm having. So what does this mean? You should be helping me out, like, you know.
No, you never. No, that's not how it went.
Yes, baby.
No,
I called you. I told you.
No, because I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
No, that was before, baby. That was he used to he used to send money for my hair.
Occasionally.
Yes, but baby, when I leave.
No, it wasn't because you asked me. If you would have asked me, I wouldn't have done it.
No, baby, I remember I did. I called you it was evening in Kenya. I called you and I told you. What did I say?
You lost your job and you had no money. Then I started taking care of you for a little while. And then you ended up not being able to get paid again. You ended up working for another place.
Baby, remember? Before that
and
time...
then that place didn't pay you enough. That's why I kept on
I know
taking
that is
care
why
of
you
you.
kept on doing that, but before first day that you sent
No,
me that,
I'm telling you, babe, my personality. If you would have acted like that, I wouldn't have done it.
no, but I swear, baby, remember the first time that I said about rent. You remember things are not well on me, and then I was so depressed.
Because you lost your job.
Yes, and then I was so depressed, and then I told you, like, I never asked him for money. I
No.
never. used to
Women,
send me
don't
money.
ask. Don't ask a man. If he's a good man, he'll do it on his own.
I never asked him for money, and
If you ask him, he'll move away.
yeah. So he used to tell me, okay, when are you going to the salon? I'm going to the salon this time. Okay, fine. You're going to make your hair, yeah.
But
then
you
send me
didn't
money.
ask me. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I liked
never-
it that you didn't ask me for money. I just gave it. Occasionally.
Babe, listen. True to be told, the time that I vacated and I was alone, there were some months that I never paid. You remember?
Yeah.
And that time I called you. I was so depressed. You were like, why are you so down? Is everything okay? I told you, okay, fine. I'm unable to pay my rent because of this and this. And then, if I can look at my contact, you're the only boyfriend that I have. You're the only man that I have. Then I was like, would you kindly just help me to pay my rent out? You remember? And then we paid. Then that was before I moved up. You remember? Then when I moved up, that is when Corona came.
I don't know. I remember it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I remember it being the way
What
that
did I
said.
say? What did I tell you?
Oh, you said you had to leave your uncle's place.
No, that
things
was
things were not good.
that was after. That happened. Listen, after I moved, see, I used to stay in that small house where I used to stay before I go up. You remember? There's something that I told you. Now I'm vacating up. There's someone who has left up.
All right.
And that is when
Part
I decided. Yeah. So when now I moved up, that is when you now told me if that house is okay, we can now move up. That is when now we used to pay all the time. You remember? But then you used to take good care of me without even me asking.
I'm just saying, if you would have asked me, I wouldn't have done it.
Really?
Mm-mm.
But I swear I asked you.
You didn't ask me like that. You didn't ask me like that.
How did I ask you?
You told me what was happening. And I figured out, because you were so transparent, you told me how much things were. Without you even saying anything, I was able to calculate in my own mind if I could actually handle that. Because I wasn't working. I was a student. So a lot of my money was coming from money that I'd made before and made with my investments. So I had to put that in my mind. And I thought eventually you were going to make money, but it never did happen. So, once you start paying, you never stop paying. Just remember that.
Yeah, of course, you're a man. If we are able to work it out together, we can just work it out. Anyway, guys, what you're trying to say is that he came through. He started helping me out with my bills, taking good care of me. During COVID time, I really thank God I never saw any dust in COVID.
Right.
He was there for me.
When you're sick.
Yes, when I'm sick, I'm going to the hospital.
And then your crazy ex-boyfriend. That's another video. Crazy ex-boyfriend.
My crazy ex-boyfriend does not even want to believe that until today I'm married.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's part of life. Once you lose something good, somebody else will take care of it. So this is something that ladies should learn out there. Don't be with somebody because maybe he has done this or this to you, okay? Just go where you find peace of mind. Someone who cares for you, someone who loves you, someone who genuinely loves you, okay? Don't go to an abusive marriage. Yes.
Yeah, but,
anyways,
but
turning
here's
to the
one
topic
thing.
of the day.
We'll talk more about this
Yeah,
another
we'll talk
time.
about it.
But, babe, you have to remind them, not everything's perfect.
Yes.
Not every relationship's going to be
Yes,
perfect.
even us we
have,
fight.
Yes, you have to
And I
balance
tell you, we
it
fight,
out.
but it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah,
if you
you
think
have-
it's
you have
going to
to
be
learn
like
your
a
friend, you have to learn
picture-perfect
your
YouTube
husband.
or, a
Telemundo.
Telemundo or whatever, or the Afro movies, or you're lying to yourself. You have to weigh the good and the bad and realize that you are a part of the bad too.
Yeah, you have to fight. Let me tell you, there is no marriage that is perfect. There is no relationship that is perfect. It is you to use your brain. As a woman, you have to use your brain. But one thing I'll always tell women, if you're in an abusive marriage, go.
Okay.
No need to stress yourself. So, back to the topic of the day. So yeah, he started taking good care of me, and then I'm like, okay, fine. And I never cheated. I was like, God, this is a godsend. Let me just relax. And I pray that, hoping that one day, one time, we shall meet. Couple of years later, COVID came.
Yeah. It was right when COVID came.
Yeah, it was right when COVID came.
And
Things just started.
I booked my ticket, and I was coming in October, leaving in November. So I figured, if God went to the wilderness for 40 days, I'd go to Africa for 40 days. So that's what I did.
That is why he took 40 days.
Yeah.
And then, guys, so before he came, he really gave me a bad punishment. So I was like, okay. That I used to know. I was not really good in good communication.
That whole thing yet.
I was not good in communication that much. So sometimes, I used to work in.
No, but you have to explain that the reason why there was a punishment, and it's not because of bad communication.
And then I lied about something.
Okay, that's all you're gonna say.
Yes,
It was
I
a
lied
pretty
about
bad
something.
lie.
But then I never knew it was going to cost me. As women, sometimes you just lie for something so that you can at least maybe achieve something, or maybe you can. Sometimes you lie, but you're not lying in a wrong purpose. Yes, as women, we don't lie in a wrong purpose. Trust me. If a woman loves you, she will never ever lie in a wrong purpose.
Okay, baby.
Yes.
I don't know.
So that time I was so busy with work. I was working in The Extreme. I was the manager there. The Extreme. It was just a small media.
Baby, just be short and sweet about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to
So
talk too much.
I was working there, and then I got back home. I was so tired. Then the boss was like almost calling me every day for really long hours.
Baby, that's another time.
Yeah.
This is like later. This is like the second time I'm supposed to come back.
Yes.
This is the time where we had
baby. This is
had
also
issues. No.
This was the second time, baby.
The second time is when you're talking to Edward. That's different. I'm talking about the time I came for 40 days and I didn't talk to you for 2 weeks.
See, that is Edward, The Extreme production.
Yes, but that's the next year. That's something else. Okay.
Baby,
I think you should talk about that when it's closer to when we proposed and got married. This is when I came here. I wasn't speaking to you for 2 weeks.
Maybe I've forgotten, but it's okay.
Because
you never spoke with me, baby, for 2 good weeks.
Yes, because you hurt me. Now you have to put this in consideration. I was at a point where, like, no, I'm done. This relationship's over, or I have to go.
Then what happened?
I'm telling you, it was something bad. Okay, and like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it. Maybe in the future. Maybe way in the future I'll talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it right now.
So you think you never hurt me?
Babe.
You never hurt me?
But you hurt me first. Okay? You hurt me first.
Baby, really hurt me.
You really hurt me first. Anyway.
Okay, and it happens. Listen. That's what we are saying. In every relationship, there must be quarrels, there must be fights.
But here's the thing, men and women. For you to really know what marriage is like and move in that direction, you have to pay the price, and the price is forgiveness. I think that was the price I had to give to find love. So I had to forgive her, but when I came, I was really having a hard time. I couldn't get a ticket to go through. I only had so much on my credit card that I could use at one time. So at the time, they weren't letting me use 2 credit cards. So I had to put the money in my bank account with a debit card. I wasn't too comfortable with that. And this was like day in and day out for days. And
because you're not talking to me when you're coming.
Well, yeah, I guess
God had to punish you.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody coming to Kenya, not talking with you 2 weeks. Oh my God.
Then
it was
I was getting pressure from my family, and that's another story. I'll talk about.
Oh my God, we really had a lot of
so much pressure.
Let me tell you, this relationship, this marriage, it only works when there is God. It wasn't easy. Even for him to come to Kenya.
Oh, it was so hard.
To find love.
It was so hard.
Even for us to get married.
I had dogs I had to take care of.
It wasn't easy.
And they weren't even my dogs.
family dogs, let's say.
family dogs. And
Yeah,
I wasn't
so-
getting any support from my family. I kind of hinted with them about me leaving a few months before I even bought my ticket,
It was
and I just didn't get a positive vibe from it, so I didn't talk about it again. So I ended up leaving, and that's a whole nother story in itself on what happened with that. But let's just stick to this part of the story, because this could be like an hour-long video.
so he came
So
Kenya.
hey, let me say, hey.
Okay, baby.
So when this part of the story, I don't know if I'm going to share the whole thing now, but basically when I first came here, I didn't actually meet with her for the first week. I met some friends that I'm really sorry to admit we're not friends anymore.
They were bad friends.
I don't think
Somehow good. Okay.
I don't think that
they
they
have
were-
good and bad.
I don't think they were bad people. I think they had their own intentions. But I really wanted to be their friend, but it just, I don't know. I mean, I tried, but they didn't really get much from them. And I could talk about what happened some other time with that. But basically, I stayed with them. And then when I stayed with them, I was thinking, how am I going to be prepared to meet her? Where am I going to meet her? And there was a man named Cornell. And he was really a godsend. He was really a nice guy. He really gave me some great advice. They took me in. We had a lot of fun together for that week, and they taught me so much. And to tell you guys, it was pretty scary to go 7,000 miles away from home to a place where you're now completely the minority. You don't really know how things are. You don't know who you can trust. You do know that not everybody likes Americans, so you have to be very careful. And I had to have a plan. And as, naive as the plan was, I figured if anything bad happened, I would go to the authorities or go to the airport. Well, I ended up finding out later that the authorities,
Short, baby.
the authorities are not even your friends. It's better to go to the airport. So, they ended up helping me, and that's a whole story on that. So we'll have to write that down and talk about that another time. But they ended up helping me find Faith, and I went to her home, right?
Charles was there too.
Charles.
my neighbor.
Yeah, he was
so,
helping.
You used to talk to my neighbor. How is she doing?
Yeah,
is she
every day.
sick?
Every
is she
day.
from work? Imagine he's not talking for me in 2 weeks. But then he talks to my neighbor.
Yeah.
Always asking my neighbor, is she at home? What is she doing? Is she back from work? Has she
Okay,
gone to work?
Even though you hurt me so bad, I loved you, and I didn't
Maybe you
want...
also hurt me. Don't put it as if you never hurt me. Hey, babe.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, so my friend, my neighbor Charles
It's-
is the one who.
No.
So you know that
it's,
day,
it's
guys.
not the same, because when I'm the one putting all the risk, not all the risk, but I'm putting in a lot of risk, financial risk into a relationship, and you hurt me.
Maybe there was everyone was risky.
But
sometimes
I
it's not
had- I had
the
more
matter
to
of
lose.
money.
I had more to
no,
lose.
I also had more to lose.
No,
do you
you
think
couldn't-
losing
you
you
could-
losing? Do you think losing you?
No, but you
it's
had
not more.
you were in your country. It was easy for you to walk away. You had everything that I bought there.
No.
So it was
Why would
easier
I
for
walk
you.
away? No, it would have been easier for a cheating person or for somebody who is married. But for someone who only has one man and loves him, no. Let me tell you, even though you're not talking to me, I really loved you. I used to ask also Charles, has he communicated? But then I figured out Charles was not somebody who was so good to me. Then I realized it's better for me to be keeping quiet. I used to kneel down, be praying every day. I used to pray. God was the only friend that was near me. Nobody else, even
Right.
when you're not talking to me. So God was the only friend that was next to me. I kneel down, I pray, I wake up every morning. I'm like, God, I'm so depressed. I really lost a lot of weight. Everybody was like, Brandy, what's wrong? Is there everything okay? So even people thought that I was sick, and I wasn't. People thought I was having HIV, and I wasn't. Within those 2 weeks, I really lost, because I've never loved somebody this way, and then maybe a devil is just trying to bring something small into it. So
Well,
it wasn't
it was
really
temptation.
something. Yeah, it wasn't really something easy. I really even you can say when you came now when he came, opening the door, he was so shocked. He was like, Alejandro. Say, how did you feel when you saw me?
Well, maybe that should be a part of the other the other. I'll
No, baby, this is how we met.
I'm gonna talk about the pressure of my family and talk about the struggle that it was to get here, and then I'll talk about the story.
We've already
of
talked
Cornell.
about those ones, baby.
No, Cornell and Jane and those guys.
Okay, now talk about Cornell
So
and Jane.
no,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna finish this part by saying they brought me to your house, and I met you for the first time,
How was it?
and I'm gonna talk about how it was in the next one because that's a part that will be a part of that story.
Yeah. So, guys, that is how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met, and I stayed for 40 days. We
No, just put it, baby. This is how
no,
we
no,
met.
no. We stayed.
You don't want to share now?
No, I ended up staying in my own place. I recommend that if you ever do come, stay in your own place for the first initial time you meet somebody. So I stayed in Motuapa for 3 weeks, and then the last week and a half I stayed with her in the place that we were renting.
Yeah, before I went to his place to maybe just to be saying hi there, he was really hiding. He never really wanted me to go there. But then look at what happened. When I was at work, he came at work. He wanted to know where I was working.
Yeah.
Extreme in town, Mombasa. He came, and then I was like, oh my God, this man is not serious.
What?
I was like, this man is not serious. He's coming to my workplace? Like, then the way Americans are so inquisitive, the way they are so, how do you call it?
Well, I was paying for you for how many years, and I wanted to make sure this what you
I
were
know,
for real.
you thought I was lying. I wasn't lying when I was working.
I didn't think you
But
were
then,
lying about everything, but I wanted to know because I need to know if I'm being played for a fool. And when I realized that you weren't, then I was able to let everything go. As much as you love somebody, you have to follow trust but verify. Remember
okay,
that
fine.
you have to
but
trust
then,
but
baby,
verify.
you guys love going into detail. So when he came at my workplace, he was so much into details. Like he was asking who's the manager. He thought I was lying. I told she's the manager.
Well, yeah.
Oh, what is happening?
But
and then guess what?
No,
my
no,
boss.
don't make it sound like it was like an investigation. I went there. I went
Maybe
there.
it sounded like it was an investigation because people are so inquisitive.
I went there and was hanging out with the person in the front desk. His name was Shadrach. I was just talking to him.
But you don't know whatever he went and told boss.
I never talked to the producer.
I was being asked
I never
a lot
talked
of questions.
I just was talking to him about what he does, how things are around here. How long you've been working there? Beautiful place. Wow, nice studio. I never asked about who was working where. I just said hi.
But then, babe, do you know, after 1 week later, was it 1 week, 5 days later, my boss just told me, you know what, Faith, you can't work with us
Yeah,
anymore.
because he liked you. His full intentions was to be with you. That's why he was talking to you for like an hour every night. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But imagine, it wasn't even love. There is no day he has ever told me I love you. No. It was just about work. Unless maybe he had his own intentions.
Yeah, but it was a
which,
problem because that was our time. We spoke every day, and it was taking away my time.
Because those are kind of bosses, even if you try telling, like he knows you're so tired, you wake up from 6 to 6, you go to work, you're back. He doesn't even give you like your own time. He still wants to talk to you like 5 hours on phone.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so okay, he's from the US. So I really used to understand because
of
he
me?
really wanted he wanted me to give him all details for work. So every day on a daily basis. Until he told me, you know what? You're fired. No. Yeah, that day he sent his wife. Then the wife was like, "Oh, you first of all, your boyfriend came here. No, your husband."
No.
The wife.
She was mad at first before I even came because she thought you were having an
affair.
affair.
She thought I was having an affair with.
Yeah.
Hey. Anyway, it's okay.
No, they called you on the phone and they said that I walked in with my shoes on.
And he was not even having his shoes on.
No.
Yeah. So I was just like, it's okay, it's fine, no problem. And I left. They I don't know. They gave me some money. Did they?
I don't think so.
So I left. So,
but then afterwards they were calling you.
Yeah, they started calling me like, "Oh, please,
come
Granny,
back.
We want you back. We're sorry." I'm like, "No, done."
Then, after them calling so many times, we finally said, "Okay, fine. If you want her to work for you,
pay her this amount of
money.
You
got to pay this much." And they were like, "No." So you obviously don't want her if you're not going to pay for her.
Yeah. So, guys, that's how things were. And so that day he came to the house. No, after 2
She
days.
had 3 friends there.
Yeah, no, we were releasing a certain movie. I'm also a script writer and a director. So we were trying to release a certain comic short film. You can find it at Sour Media. Sour Media is also our page. So those guys were there, some actors, actresses, film directors. We were just trying to look at how the movie was, or
Yeah.
So then boom, told me, you know what, I'm coming today at 2.
Yeah.
I was like, you're coming today at 2?
Okay.
So finally we've decided. I was like, okay. That day when he called me, I never knew it was his number, but then any white person, any voice, I knew his voice literally. So he just said hello, and it was him. I was like, I smelled to God.
She said, "Are you here?" And I said, "Yes." I got a Kenyan number.
Yeah, I got a Kenyan number, and then he called me. Then he's like, I want to see you. I want us to meet. I'm like, okay.
You said where? I said your place.
Yeah, where? Then he said, my place was like, am I dreaming? I'm like, okay, fine. I was never even hard on him. I was just like, okay, what time? Because I was also just trying to play tough-headed, like, you know, I also have some work to do, of which is true because I was going to meet up with those guys at 2. So I told him, if you want to come, maybe you come in the morning because at 2 I'll be having these people. Then he was like, no, I'm coming at 2. And you know, my husband has said that is it. It is what it is. You have to obey it.
Well, yeah, you know, you called me your husband ever since, like a year before we got married, right? Yeah.
That is how we started calling each other. So he came. I was so shocked.
There was a lot of questions.
Before he came, he had passed via the salon. We had a salon.
Yeah.
So my what is it? My staff
Faith.
called me. Her name was Faith. My salonist called me. She's like, you know what? Your man is here. He was here. He has really shouted. What have you done to him?
I didn't shout at her. I walked in like I'm the leader.
I'm like, what?
I'm
What
like,
happened?
I'm looking
He
at the
passed
plate.
here, and the tension was so cozy, but everyone was just looking at him because he's so young. He's coming. He's on his way coming. So I was like, okay, fine. Thank you, Faith. It's okay. Don't worry. So by then, I was like, it is what it is. You know what, guys? If you love somebody,
Then I
because
knocked
nobody
on
is
the
perfect.
door.
So I was like, it is what it is. Even if he goes, I know where he is. If he truly loves me, he will come back. Because I'm not the only one who hurted him. He also hurted me.
Not at that time.
But you did.
No, I didn't. No.
Baby, you would think just I'm tired, I'm from work, and then I call you. No, you call, I don't receive, I'm tired because I slept off. And then when I call you, don't
Okay,
receive.
baby.
All I receive it's a hurtful message.
You hurt me first.
No, but you don't. Anyway, we thank God. We don't do revenge.
Yeah, we'll talk about
It's
that
okay.
later. No,
But it was so painful, you know, because he wouldn't understand. I'm from work, I'm tired, you know, being the manager or everything. But then, so I was like, okay, it's fine.
You're trying to say that the time that was with Edward was the same time. It wasn't the same time. That was after. That was later.
No, baby, it was.
No, it wasn't. You were working for Riot TV, and The Extreme was later.
No, baby, because when you came, because I remember when you
You
came,
were working
I
for
was
the
working for the
hotel.
Extreme. No, baby, I remember when you were living in Mtwapa. That is the day that I came to, and I told you what guys would have been fired, and that was your first time in Kenya.
No, okay, fine.
Yes, so I'm not so forgetful.
Okay.
So I remember very well. So I was so tired, and then I was like, it's okay. So when he came that day, I'm like, it's okay, it is what it is. When Faith called me, I was like, let it be. If he wants to be there, it's okay. If it's mine, it's okay. Because I remember I even called him and told him, you know what? If you do not want me, tell me to leave. Stephen would say nothing. Hey, baby. Hey.
For 2 weeks, I said nothing.
God,
but that was before I came. And then,
even when you came,
but
1
anyways,
week when you came, I was
we're
like,
going in circles here. We need to talk about the ending here.
yeah.
So when I came and knocked on the door, you should have saw her face. It lit up like
it was love.
yeah. And then she gave me a big hug, and we hugged. Somebody took a picture of it. I don't know who did.
Charles.
And then
It was like kiss.
and then we kissed a little bit,
Mm.
a little bit. And then I walked in and waited, and then when those people left, we talked, and there was many questions,
Yeah.
and that was that story.
Yeah, there were many questions of which we came to the end of it. Maybe you're
And then
having this.
that day, I will share this one thing about the next story I'll share.
Uh-huh.
It ended with she really wanted me to spend more time with her, but I knew it wasn't good after the day kind of happened.
I was like
A little
in
bit of
an
negativity.
interrogation room, you know?
Right.
Hey.
I didn't want that.
This guy.
So I
this
went
guy
back to my
fired me
place.
questions because I can't agree on something that I've not done.
So I gave her a hug, and she really wanted me to spend more time with her, but I said no. Let's meet tomorrow. So then after the next day, we hung out every time.
Yeah.
Spent the whole time together.
We hung out all the time together. We went to Kisumu. We saw our parents. Things all and
No,
in
that
Migori.
was the second time.
The second, maybe it was the first time I remember.
No, I didn't go to Migori to meet your family the first time. I was only here for 40 days.
Maybe you forget so much.
No, the second time when I came for
Kwani,
6 months.
when you were here, when you were here, let me ask you
I
one
didn't meet
question.
your parents the first time when we met. I didn't.
Baby, you met my dad the first time that
No.
you met. When did you book a flight going to Kisumu?
I could show you.
When did you go to Kisumu?
I'll show you the flight.
So the day that you went, when you went to Kisumu, we never went to my dad's place.
Okay, fine. Actually, you're right.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. I remember.
Thank you.
I remember.
I'm not forgetful,
Yeah.
guys. That's what I say.
Okay.
But Steven can make you feel as if you're lying. Like,
No.
Hey,
Hey,
that's not good.
I admit when I'm wrong, but I remembered right when you said your
Went
dad.
to Kisumu.
I remember booking the ticket, sitting down.
And I told you, do you
Yeah.
remember booking the ticket? So
Yeah.
where were we when you're booking the
Yeah.
ticket?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, and if she's right, she's right. You better say it. You're right.
Yeah, so guys, we really appreciate for your time. That is how we met. But let me tell you, in every inconvenience, there's a
Blessing.
blessing. So we really appreciate, and we are here today. Our story will go on and on and on, and accept challenges. Okay, accept challenges. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
So we love you so much. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've not. Tell us which next video should we do.
Well, stay tuned. You'll hear about the other two parts of the story from me.
Yeah.
Eventually. Maybe I'm sitting somewhere like a big tree or
Which
something.
parts, baby?
I'm going to talk about what happened with Cornell and Jane.
No, by the way.
And then, no, that's another time. We're running out of time.
Hey, but
No.
okay, those were also people who are trying to
And then we're going to talk about...
separate us. But
Yeah.
who is God?
And then I'm going to talk about my parents and the pressure.
Yeah, we'll
So,
talk about both parents' pressure.
yeah, another day.
Both parents' pressure. Because sometimes you feel like this is the person that you love, this is the person that you want. But sometimes you're being told that listen to your parents. Not everything that you have to listen to your parents. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself and make a wise decision because you know where your shoes pinches you up.
Yeah, if you don't go with your heart, like, I'll say this last thing and then we're going to close. If I didn't come, I'd regret it for a very long time.
You see?
That pushed me through. I knew that I had to come. I had to. I spent so much time with you, and I would have wondered. So I had to at least go see you for myself. And if you were someone not who I expected, or you were a catfish, I would have just had to learn from it.
Yeah, so also another thing in the relationship that we learned, don't listen to people. Choose wise friends.
You have to follow your heart.
Yeah, follow your heart, because if you would have listened to people, you wouldn't be here.
No.
Yes.
I had my parents kind of making it difficult. I had Charles, Jane, and Cornell.
A lot of
they
it
were
was-
supporting me, but also not.
Yeah. So you have to be deep in prayers. Women, sometimes what is yours, you have to go for it, pray for it, kneel for it, and God will surely give you the correct directions to
Right.
follow. Fight for what is yours with prayers. So that is what I did, And I was like, God, you know what? I cannot fight alone. I cannot fight with all these kind of enemies who are really surrounding me. You are the only God that can fight for me. And truly, he revealed himself, who he is to me. And here we are, husband and wife now as we're talking. So we thank God. Go for what is yours. And do not let little quarrel thing to make you feel like you are nobody. No. Accept your mistakes. There's nobody who is perfect. Okay? And everything will go well. So we really appreciate, guys. Tunawapenda sana sana, sana baby.
Sana sana sana. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Tunawapenda. Thank you so much, guys.